Hey guys, welcome back to the Bronco build. We're still working on the interior. This is gonna be part 2 of the series. We're gonna be working on getting all the plastic trim out, seat belts, headliner, all that good stuff, getting the dash out. And we are also gonna start the prep work, start getting some paint down, start getting things looking spiffy and smelling a little better in here. So we'll start with the plastic stuff. It's gonna be fairly straightforward, I'd imagine. We've got a couple of these little tabs out, little whatever these are. We're gonna keep working on some of these other interior bits, and I'll kind of show y'all what I'm doing as I go. I know for sure the seatbelt deals are a T45 Torx bit, but still pretty simple. I've actually already got this one loosened up a little bit here, but I'm gonna try to get all the plastic stuff out before I call it a night. So we'll see how it goes, but once we get that done, it'll be just a matter of prep work. After that, all the fun stuff can start happening. So the seat belts are all just the T45s, Torx bits. There is one for sure that's gonna be a little rusty. It was giving me some issues. I've got some PV sitting on it, so we're gonna move forward for a minute while that's soaking and try to get some of this other stuff ripped out here. So I thought this was kind of odd. The front seat belts are all T45 Torx bits, but for some reason the rear seat belt mounts are whatever those are, 9/16 maybe, I don't know. I'll let y'all know here in a minute, but I don't know what kind of added rigidity a different bolt might have or what the reason for it would be. But anyways, it's not been too long and I've already made some decent progress getting some of the trim out, so we'll get back to it. So we've got all the plastic trim out, or almost all of it. These are held in by the seat belts mounting points slash brackets, which are some Torx bits that are corroded pretty good. I'm having issues getting them out. I've had a heat gun on them, I've had plenty of PB blaster on them, and they are just not wanting to budge. But all the A-pillar pieces are out, headliner, basically everything that's not these big pieces that are held in by those Torx bolts. Why Ford decided to use Torx bolts, I have no idea. The rest of it was fairly straightforward, nothing too exciting. So a lot of the front end stuff here, and then we've got the rear headliner, a lot of the back end stuff, this stuff on the corners here in the middle. This is a crossbar that goes up top here. We're gonna pick back up tomorrow, try to get the dash out, see if I can find something for these. I think if I just get, I don't know, I need to find and it's a Torx, it's a 50, what do you call it? Let me see here. It's actually a Torx T50, so I earlier said it was a T45. It is a T50, just wanted to throw that out there, just so someone was like, it's actually, no, it's actually, yeah. Anyways, that's my bad. I need to just get like some kind of 1/2-inch drive T50, I think, so I can get a breaker bar on them or something, some kind of stronger T50. I don't really know what they make or what's available, but we will try to go ahead and get the dash out tomorrow and see what we can get done on that. But once those pieces are out, they should wrap up basically everything. We can start the prep work and start getting it looking nice in here. So I went and got a 1/2-inch to 3/8 adapter, so that way I could throw the, give me a second, this is tricky with one hand. So I could throw the T50 on there. We did get this side out at the expense of another broken bolt, so but I was able to get this one out using a torque wrench, just to slowly break it loose. So that is good to go here. There you go. So I should be able to pop this panel out fine without losing any bolts, but nonetheless, I'm sure we can drill these out. We had a couple other broken bolts earlier on and get those fixed up, but at least this is out. We're that much closer to being able to start the prep work. Once I get this other rear panel out here, we're gonna go ahead and start on the dash. I was looking at it earlier, and for sure there's some small bolts that line the top of it. But I'm hoping once those bolts are out that this is just like a cover that'll come off and it kind of expose the rest of the pieces that I need to pop out. But yeah, once we get the this plastic piece out and the dash out, we'll probably get a good vacuum going and then start on the prep work. So I'll probably just use like a wire wheel to bring up a bunch of this surface rust and go from there, see what we're working with or how deep any of this goes. It doesn't look very deep, so I'm hoping for the best, you know, fingers crossed. So I just did a quick little vacuum just to clean it up some, so it's a little nicer for me to be working in here. And I gotta say, for how bad it isn't that bad, if that makes any sense. Anyways, as far as the dash goes, there is just the 4 7mm on the top, and then up under it looks like there's a few more of them. I don't know how well that's showing. And then there's one up above the steering column. I'll try to zoom on it, but it's right in the middle of the screen there. Other than that, there's a couple. Actually, there's supposed to be a couple. There's just one on this bottom panel here. One of them is missing, it looks like, but we'll go ahead and get cracking on this and see if we can get at least part of the dash out tonight. So there are a couple of these that I believe are an 8mm. I'm thinking the black ones that are used across the top and the bottom here are the 7s, and the zinc looking ones, gold, zinc, whatever you want to call it, I believe are an 8mm. We'll see here real quick. Yeah. So the goldish ones are an 8mm, which is a little odd. I don't know. I guess it's just because they're different bolts is why they used different sizes. I guess it kind of makes sense. But pretty good progress on the dash so far. I mean, it's already starting to wiggle loose a little bit. I've got 3 or 4 more bolts, I think, and it should come out. I will have to see how to get this bezel off. Maybe. Yeah, this bezel will have to come off for sure. But once we got the dash loose, we'll get the bezel off here, make sure none of this other stuff needs to come off, and get this popped out of here. So we've got almost all of the interior out. Got started on the dash. You got the little kick panel for the fuse panel, and the dash bezel, cigarette lighter, ashtray deal. Got that all out. Just kind of show you kind of what we got going on here. Ignore the mess, but we've got a decent little start going on here on getting some of this stuff out. A bunch of this stuff is just kind of coming apart, and not in a good way. A bunch of old brittle plastic tabs. So yeah, that's gonna be fun to deal with on the back end. But looks like someone's dealt with it before. Actually, there's some glue or something on the dash, some kind of putty or something. But anyways, we've got the dash loosened up pretty good on the other side. I've still got to get the bolt up under it, above the steering column. But once the rest of the dash is out, it'll be time for prep work. I do need to figure out a way to get the seatbelt deals out, because the bolts are Torx bolts on these as well, and they are rounded off pretty good. So nonetheless, we'll get the dash out, get the seatbelts out, and then it'll be time to hit all this with a wire wheel, get it prepped up and painted, and ready for some sound deadening material and stuff like that. So we finally got the dash. Huge thanks to Sam. He came by, he helped me. We finally got the dash out. There's one bolt that was a massive pain to get out, to get the cover off so we could paint it. It is on the side here. Yeah, right here there's one bolt. Everything else was fairly straightforward. There was some, this one right here as well. I don't know how well that shows, but it actually attaches to the like the climate control box, the air box, whatever you want to call it. And so I had to like get my arm way up in there to get this one out, which was tricky. But everything else was fairly straightforward. It's out now. So here soon we can start painting all the plastic pieces. We haven't decided yet if we're going to get new seat belts or try to dye these. Either way, we still have to get them out, and those bolts are pretty rounded off. Let me see here. Yeah, it's going to be tricky to get those out. And we've got the prep work started as well. So I'm going to get all the surface rust off with just the wire wheel, then go back and hit it with a flapper wheel to smooth it out some, get some of that texture out. Once we've got the prep work done, we'll probably do quick coat of like white primer just to get it looking how it should, and then we'll be able to start putting some sound deadening in. Start on the plastic trim pieces. Sam only has a pint of the paint. He has gone to see if he can get some more mix for me so I can paint all this stuff, but progress is progress. We're getting there. I'm not looking forward to putting everything back together. Hopefully it won't be too bad since I have a better understanding of how to get it out. Kind of reverse engineer a little bit. We'll get cracking on some more prep work and make some solid progress here today. Alright, so we've got a lot of the surface rust off with the wire wheel. I'm going to go back through, like I said, with the flapper wheel and just get some of this texture out, smooth it out, get it looking real nice back here. Once we've got the back kind of cleaned up, we'll resituate, put everything in the back, and then do the front end here. A bunch of this stuff's flaking up. I'd imagine it's some kind of heat-resistant material from the factory, but it's cracking. So I'm going to try to avoid that as much as I can, but I know some of it's going to come off. So, and the front rust isn't too bad. There's a pretty good section of it right up front here. We'll get this cleaned up and go from there. It does seem to be working though. There is still a little bit of pitting. I might hit these areas a little better, but it is definitely smoothing it out some. So this is day, I don't even know what, of part 2 on the interior of the Bronco build. And I've been working on the prep work quite a bit, and this sucks. Not making quick progress by any means. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but the pitting is pretty bad. I've been going at it for a while and not seem to have made much progress. This side looks good, only because there wasn't rust over here. So. And if there was, it was very minor. There are a couple spots I'm concerned about. Right here, it does seem to go through. I'm hoping not. It was starting to even back out a little bit. And then over here as well, on the back there, that seems to go all the way through. I don't know if you can see it, but right on the side, it seems to be a real pinhole there. But the prep work is going to be a very lengthy, boring, repetitive, sucky process. In order for it to be ready for paint, we've got to get the rest of this pitting out and get the bed cleaned up, and we've also got to take care of all of the bolts that we broke along the way. There's one on the front passenger seat, and there's 4 in the back here, I believe. The biggest problem area is definitely the bed, and I do want to make a call back to when Brad said, "You got your work cut out for you." I believe that was an understatement. Got a lot to do still. Haven't even started on the front, but the rust in the front isn't too bad. A lot of it seems to be surface rust. It shouldn't have as much pitting as the back does here, but once we get all the rust taken care of, all the pitting, all the broken bolts out, and get the front taken care of as well, we'll be able to start making some fun progress that's not as labor intensive. Hopefully next time I see y'all, all this will be one color, or at least be ready to be one color, and we'll be that much closer to starting on the fun stuff. Until then, y'all take it easy. Peace. And real quick, I just want to say, this is for you, Brad. When we were doing the F-250 review video, I was blamed for your dad's shoes getting dirty because I didn't help you unload the truck.
You see what happened? You are getting paid to film, and you didn't jump up here and help with these tires. Look, come in close and look at this. You see what happened?
No.
Hey, come here. That doesn't come out. It's on you, dude.
I'd say this makes us even.